right, we're live.
I would not make it in Japan.
No,
Nah,
I mean, it's mostly gluten free out there.
that is true. Asia is mostly gluten free.
I mean, I feel like you would physically survive.
It's too exotic.
I mean, like you'd have sushi Tuesday,
Why just Tuesday?
sushi Saturday.
Sushi every day. I don't know. There's reasons.
Shout out to chat.
Oh shit, we got a chat?
Walter Garvey said pouring out for the AOS homies.
Bro,
Something bad happened over there.
what?
Something bad happened to AOS.
Don't act like you don't know the news.
Dog, I don't
You
know
know the
this.
news. Stop.
Motherfucker, I don't know shit.
I just don't believe that.
Walter Garvey says pouring out for my AOS homies. So, is it like a new edition? Are they
They
indexing
basically
everyone?
completely destroyed two factions today and gutted the rest. Gutted a good portion of the
What actually
rest.
did they do today? Did they announce a new edition?
No, they said, hey, if you play Beastmen or um Savage Orcs, you have until summer 2025, which they've never done before. Usually they just legend shit and it's done. But you have a whole year to play in the new edition with your armies, but then that's it.
Then what?
And that's it. There's no more Beastmen or Savage Orcs in Sigmar.
But so like they're just done with those ranges, straight legends.
Stray Legends. And then
I mean, they've been doing
they
that to the 40K for since eight.
then they basically primarised the Stormcast faction. They're like, all those minis from the past 8 years, yeah, they're all gone now. You gotta get the new.
Are the
You
one
gotta get the Primaris
are the new ones
Stormcast.
better?
I mean, it's all relative. They objectively look kind of better, but we've only seen one model. I don't know.
And is that 2025 as well?
Nope, that's just happening now.
Yikes!
I don't know.
That's aggressive.
I'm so like part of me is like people are overreacting, but then the other part of me is GW gave more time than they gave 40K players in 10th. But then part of me is like, why the fuck didn't we expect any of this? Like you can't trust GW to not straight up sell you some bullshit, and then when it becomes an inconvenience for them to maintain it, they get rid of it.
What's
So
inconvenient
like,
about maintaining the Stormcast?
well, because Stormcast are basically becoming Space Marines, there's too many of them. So they got to do something because they're already
But isn't
got
this
them
like
all.
how every like CCG works though? Like this no longer legal. This no longer legal.
Yes and no. They go to a different format. They never,
But everyone wants to play like the hot format. So it goes
no.
to some alternate like.
Well, and that's just the thing too, because in Old World, GW was like, hey, there's these 7 factions that are legacy. Like, we're not going to support them. But immediately, all the Old World TOs were like, nah, you can play with them at our events. Forget that. So, but the thing that's different now is GW has their own events. So GW has their own series, their opens, right? And then the big golden ticket extravaganza at the end of the year that everybody wants to like go to and be part of, because why not? But in order to go to that, you have to have, you can't be playing Savage Orcs, or you can't be playing, X, Y, and Z. So while these things exist just fine in Garage Hammer and at local game stores that are happy to have you come into their store and actually play, yeah, it might not work at a US Open or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, you just kind of gotta, you just gotta bring the hobby back for yourself. Like, you gotta just make it work for you. Like, don't let anybody tell you how to hobby with your models. Like, if you got models, fucking ride them till the wheels come off, man. Like, have fun.
None of this
Like,
I don't think any of this matters. That's like how I feel about it.
like Savage Orcs could be so many different things.
Yeah,
Like,
this it's like, to me, this is so fucking irrelevant. Like, I built all those like dreadnoughts, and everyone was telling me I was stupid for building all those dreadnoughts. Remember?
yeah,
I was
they're
like,
like, they're not even legal anymore. Blah, blah,
I
blah.
was
And
like
now
nothing. I
everybody's
was like, no, like at no point did the entertainment value I got out of building, assembling, painting, scheming, and playing with those toys, and none of that was ever taken from me. That was all. I get to keep that joy forever. Like, that's where I don't. This doesn't affect me. Maybe it affects other people, but I mean, I've caught. This is not okay. We've been doing this podcast for 10 years, and we've been in this hobby much longer. This happens all the time, and so it comes up all the time. James Teal on YouTube. That was the point I was going to circle back to, because that is the obvious counter. He said it takes much longer to build and paint an army than buying a new series for CCG. Right. That's the obvious counter argument. As I was making that statement. But like, ultimately, like, all the people in the world who play AOS or play any 40k IP that has like 2,000 point armies, right?
Mm.
How many of these assholes actually built and painted their army on planet Earth?
Dude,
Half.
I'll tell you right now.
Half. 20%.
Maybe
10%.
Well,
So,
but I tell you right now, like,
but hold on. But of all the people who are just screaming into the void to be heard and empathized with on the subject of having their Stormcast Eternals being Primaris, right? Like, there's fuck, this sucks. This feeling sucks. People agree with me. Can someone have the same feeling I'm having right now, where I feel like this shit sucks? GW took my models from me. I can't play with my models anymore. They want to be validated.
Right.
And so if we're saying like vastly less than a half of all humans who've ever bought these release boxes and have them all sitting in plastic and unbuilt still, how many of them are in that same, echo chamber of validation, right? Half again. So when you start like really subdividing the complaint down, GW doesn't give a shit, first off, because it doesn't affect
GW
their numbers.
already made their money.
Doesn't affect their numbers in any capacity, because like, they already sold those models. And how many of those guys actually clipped them all off, sat down, let me put some effort down, and let me actually do something really elite this weekend and fucking finish my army? So few people actually take the first step required into that elite category of having a fucking full-on project that is complete. And being a guy who educates people on this and helps people along, I've had this argument so many times, this discussion so many times. You don't even, if you never finished the army, you have nothing to complain about. First. Second off, if you did finish the army, you also have nothing to complain about, because the joy you experienced and the entertainment value you got from that fucking journey is with you until the day you die.
Yep.
No one can take. It's like people who are mad at the Little Mermaid remake. My Little Mermaid, bro, no one took your Little Mermaid. They didn't take it off shelves. It still exists. Your experience still exists. Your emotions and your memories still exist. Who cares? So you still got to enjoy that whole process with your Stormcast Eternals, unless you didn't do anything with them and they're sitting in a box. That's on you, right? And as Rob said, don't tell anyone what you can do, man. If you want it, you can still do counts as. You can still play them in the basement, whatever you want. But I concede that almost no one wants to play in the basement. They want to play on the table. So sure, maybe you can't play your old Stormcast on the table. Well, it's time to start a new thing.
But that's just the thing. A lot of the Stormcasts, it's the same model. It's just gonna be looking a little different. It's still a Stormcast model on a 40 mil
Convert it
base
up.
with a shield and a hammer.
Convert
You
the
don't
bitch
have to
up.
do shit. Like it's literally the same. Like, and I mean, I got guardsmen on the wrong size bases. I got heavy weapon teams on 60 mils. You think I give a shit? They're painted. They're done. They are done. I'm not touching them again.
Bro.
Like,
No.
I don't care.
And also, no one gives a shit. If your shit looks tight and it's on the right bases and have the right weapons, nobody cares. Spoiler alert. None of this matters.
Yeah, nobody has ever
In the
once
history of ever.
said some shit to me. Like, yeah, okay, if you go to a GW US Open, you probably technically cannot do that. But we've seen enough pictures from the GW US Opens that there's 3D printed whole models, bits, everything at this thing, and they don't even know the difference. So you can probably just do it. And it's not even an issue. I don't know. That's how I feel about it, at least. But yeah, I mean, the issue isn't the issue is GW because they keep doing this. And just don't let them do it. Just don't let them tell you how to play with your models that you spent the money on. Like if you still want a hobby on them and put them on the table, then do it.
Right, but the thing is, that's not who's whining. It's people who want to go play GTs and shit. Right?
But I mean, why isn't your shit together and painted already?
Exactly. It doesn't matter. This is why it doesn't matter.
Like,
If you want to go play the GT game and you want to ride that fucking bull. That bull is an ever changing, always revolving fucking door of nonstop fucking in and out, in and out. Like you can't ride that fucking bull unless you're willing to fucking be hobbying every weekend. Like constantly changing units out. So it doesn't even so those people this doesn't matter. You know? So it's ultimately an emotion that I do validate because it does feel like shit to feel like because in our hobby still, Rob, though, while we have the best hobby in the world, where we get to talk, scheme, craft, do artistic expression, and the final culmination of all of this is playing. So when that is forcefully or seemingly removed from the equation, people have a tendency to feel like it invalidates everything that came before. So, sure, I understand that feeling. I validate that feeling. But I'm also like, hey, let's get some perspective. It's important for balance. Like everyone's worst day is their worst day. I acknowledge that, but simultaneously, let's get a little perspective. No one took any models from you. You still had that joy, you still had that fun, all those memories that already happened. And to even think for 1 second that everything will stay the same forever in anything you do is that's futile. That's not real. Like, so you can't just camp on the same army for 100 years thinking that you're always gonna be able to play it. You can't. It's just not. It's just not realistic. That's not realistic.
Or something.
It's not. Yeah, that's where you need the perspective. Worst thing that's gonna happen to you is you gotta open up one of those other sets of boxes you bought and didn't open and paint yet, and start working on that. It's the worst thing. That's the worst thing here. Oh no, the thing I love the most in the world. I'm being forced to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. People just, it's the internet. I mean, it stinks. It hurts. I get it. But like, don't let nobody tell you how to hobby with your models. I don't know. And if I had to guess, a lot of independent AOS events are just going to be like, whatever. You can still play with your Savage Orcs or your Beastmen here, and they'll come up with some balancing system.
Facebook user. I don't know the name, but he says I wouldn't want to be in a world where things never change.
That is true. That could be weird. Might not work so well. Well, I mean, other than that, it was an interesting.
Walter Garvey says Leviathan and Dominus, Deathwing Assault still not even cracked open. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We have boxes of shit, man. We've opened. It doesn't even matter.
That's true.
And also, this is the
Mm,
perfect time. I just sent out a newsletter about it. Like, this is my favorite time of the year to hobby right now. Going into spring,
yeah.
like a lot of people, they always like talk about like winter. Like, oh, winter, motherfucker, that's fake. Everyone talks about how like, oh, I'm gonna be inside all winter. That's when I'll hobby. No, you won't. Like winter, you've got like Thanksgiving, back to back Christmas nonsense. So like you're gonna be pulled in 20 different directions, family obligations, anxiety, shopping, cleaning, decorating, all this dumb shit you got to do. Right? You're not gonna sit down and relax and paint. And if you do and get caught, it causes a fight at your house. So it's the spring leading to the summer. This is the moment. Like pull out. It's spring cleaning time. Pull out your models. Start building them up. Set yourself an agenda. Settle down into some nice summer painting. Because at worst, you might have like a family vacation, right? Like you go do something with your family. That's cool. Kids might be home, sure, but that's your only obligation. You can just chill and paint, and prep for the winter, prep for October, things like that. So it's now. So take this news and roll with the punch. Open up some of those other army boxes you never opened up. Start hobbying.
Yeah, there's always something to do. Get ready for next year's Adepticon. I don't know.
Wyatt, he says, GW keeps doing this. All the whiny losers will leave the hobby. It'll just be cool people left.
Mm,
Yes.
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Fuck no.
So we still got some long war dice. I slightly miscounted them.
Oh yeah, somebody told me they got the last one.
Maybe? Let me go
I mean,
look.
it's days ago.
Oh no, I think I found like 10 more, but we sold some sets since I adjusted the inventory. There's 7 left in stock. That's it.
Oh, there's still 7 sets. So you miscounted because it looked like you were out.
By like 10. Yeah, there was more in that box. They had slid down from driving back.
7 people were asking 7 dice sets left, guys.
Here, I'll give you the link in case anybody wants the last.
Give me the link. Just put it in the chat.
Well, yeah, not you. The people listening to you.
The Sam Ambush, he's like, they won't. We all love the hobby. They just love to complain. As One Plus says, he's a chronic hater. There's a lot of chronic haters on the internet.
Yeah, that one plus saves, he's a clickbaiter.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't trust anything he writes.
Oh, did you make him write something for you?
I didn't make him do anything. He's pretty good at it.
Oh man, that dude is a Sith Lord.
Hey, you want to hear one of his titles?
Yes.
We can find it. This was the one. I think this was yesterday. It might have been one of our top posts. Outsmarting the meta. This simple trick for 40K players can't ignore.
That's good.
It's pretty good. And then my social media manager took it and blurred out
Oh,
the
the picture or the
yeah,
text.
the data sheet ability, like the one simple trick. So like you have no idea what the thing's about.
Oh, but it looks
dude,
like it's like, yeah, I get it. That's so good.
it's so good. Uh
Kramer says One Plus says makes me believe I can win a game of 40K one day. Garrett
What
says
happened
he
with
just bought a
Wyatt?
set.
He's not getting his deposit back.
No,
Oh man, that's no good.
you know what that means.
Might as well just shit on the carpets.
That's exactly what it means. Might as well just shit on the carpets.
Hmm. Who shit on the
Or
carpets?
in my situation, don't clean the carpets.
I don't know. I thought they were like required to like change the carpets.
There.
So like, why do they try to act like, oh, the carpets were dirty? Like, you're gonna replace them. Like, what? Why acting like you knew here?
No doubt. So dice up. Rob said he found a secret cache.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not. It wasn't really secret. I just, you know how like when you get a bag of cereal and there's like they put the toy at the top,
Yep.
and then as you drive back from Adepticon, the toy like sinks to the bottom of the box because you're driving over all the mountains. That's basically what happened. That's basically it.
Secret cache. Got it.
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to get the news besides all the super angry stuff. When are we podcasting next week?
Thursday
Wednesday?
or Wednesday.
Thursday?
Sorry, we're moving it back to Wednesday.
To on the 10th? So we're doing on the 10th?
Yes.
Okay.
So our new schedule. That's good. That good memory. Our new schedule is we're moving back a day, starting next week.
That's it? Full stop?
Yeah. And also, I won't be here on the 24th. That means
So I won't be here on the 24th.
just fucking nailed it. No podcast on the 24th, unless we pre-record it.
Wait, isn't the 24th your birthday?
No,
The
22nd.
22nd. I knew that. So you're 24. So your birthday's on the 24th this year.
I mean, I'm doing something for my birthday on the 24th. Yeah.
That's what I figured. Nice. You going to Harry Carey's?
No. Is there a Harry Carey's on?
I don't know. There's probably a Portillo's closer
Yeah.
to you than to me.
There's one in Orlando. Yeah.
Hmm. Slightly jealous. Slightly. The entire Max says, wouldn't have happened if you flew on a plane. Why are you bringing up old shit? I don't play
Recoil.
that
Oh
game.
my god. Yeah. That's also my new schedule for tactic. Thank you. God damn. It's also my new schedule for tactics and webinar moving forward.
So everything's moving to Wednesdays.
Yes. Fuck yes. I think I already put it on my sheet, my class sheet, recoil. Well, so is the news tonight all about Old World getting, or AOS getting dick slapped?
I mean, that's just a footnote, I suppose.
What's the big news?
It's a decent amount of stuff.
What do you, I mean, like, what do you want to talk about?
What, meat and potatoes?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a decent shift in the meta, I suppose. Could be addressed if I can breathe for a second. There we go. Yeah, there was a decent shift in the meta.
Starting when?
One plus saves did a
Oh, based on his article? That's cool. We can do
bit
that.
of a a bit of a post on it, but I mean, a lot of the movement heavy armies did way better this week than the non.
That's pretty fucking
Uh,
cool.
yes, it is pretty fucking cool.
All right. I'm down. Garrett says, will you guys ever do a long war podcast meetup at LVO or majors? I mean, I don't know. This is what like Miniac does.
Meetup.
Yeah, Miniac does that. He does like a live. They do like a live podcast.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't think we're not tight. We're not good at this, Garrett. By the way, like in case it's not
Like Garrett, like you can hang out with us. Like, come on. Like there was like 20 people at the Long War doubles, and
you
then
talk about just like chilling. Come chill. Yeah, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
like chill. It's
Like
cool,
we're
man.
not actually good at stuff. Like this is just a Zoom call.
Yeah,
Like this
we didn't
is
go to school for this.
no, dude. We are not tight. There's no equipment that we can haul around and set up. It would be bad. Kara Quinn says you're on too early now to watch. I moved my shit all back
Honest,
late. What are you talking about?
yeah, we're on the same time. What do you,
We're doing the same time, and I've actually moved everything else I do late. I do 9 p.m. Eastern.
oh, he's talking about you.
Yeah, but I pushed it back, dude. Like Tuesday, I started I started 3 hour or 2 hours later than normal. I think. Recoil. I'm pretty sure you're a PA now, Kenny. Oh no, shit worse, dude.
Well,
Kara Quinn doesn't believe in these stats
in stats,
because of Easter, because Jesus. Kara Quinn
uh,
says Jesus. It makes the stats irrelevant.
oh, is that the basis?
Yeah, I mean, I'm correlating the data. I'm correlating based on what he's saying.
I would say that would be true if the same thing doesn't repeat itself this weekend.
Jesus?
Yes.
Cody says, yo, Kenny, saw you on a Hobby Collabs Adepticon recap. Collabs Adepticon recap?
Man, it's
I'm unaware of any collab recap I did.
I was seeing where like people were making videos on YouTube where they took like pictures of Adepticon. They weren't there, and they were like talking about Adepticon like they were there. And I was like, oh wow, okay. That's what's up. Bold. My favorite are the folks that don't show their faces and just basically have a AI bot reading a script that's probably written by AI.
Can't wait till we can get in on that. Kara Quinn
Yeah.
says, you didn't say that. It's not about Jesus, it's about the ham. All caps. Ham radio? Or like the food. I did eat ham twice over last weekend.
Oh man, I didn't get no ham.
Cody says there's a YouTube, mainly a hobby side. You were mugging real well for the camera. Like, did they interview me? Are you talking about like Coach and his son, Family of Gamers?
Oh yeah, they were interviewing folks. He only showed pictures of you and Dave. It was the only pictures he posted, but then they did a video with a bunch of people.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like they're the only person I actually stopped to talk to with a camera on me. I know at one point Ninjon was like filming me from across the room, and then I caught wind of it, and then I started posing.
Hmm. The old across the room.
The old across the room.
You know, him or Scott haven't come up and talked to me, ever said hi or nothing.
Ninjon came by our booth, dude.
No, Not while I was there.
Well, you
Definitely.
weren't there a lot, dude.
Well, I was there more than most.
Apparently not.
That's not true.
Remember, I made your phone take purchases without the machine you gave me and everything.
Yeah,
So much stuff happened while you weren't there.
I was there quite a bit, making things happen, man.
B dubs, and it was where I was by a table. Was I talking? There's
Huh?
like an old weird video of me on YouTube from Adepticon years ago, just like playing 40K, like in someone's like telescope lensing me. I think I met that guy this year. Wait, there's a Golden Demon controversy? We didn't even talk about the Golden Demon. Was there a controversy? Oh, please tell me there was. Rob, are you caught up?
Yes.
What is it?
Supposedly, someone used an AI generated backdrop. It was the guy that won the Slayer Sword 2 years ago. So like he can definitely paint, and it's unconfirmed. It's complete speculation, and it originated. We just don't know if it's true. But here's the thing. Well, first of all, nobody knows if it's true. Like that could have been painted. Like he hasn't even said yes or no. Like he hasn't said one way or the other, which is also very weird. Um, and the second thing is there's no rules in the Golden Demon about cast miniatures, 3D printed miniatures, AI art, nothing. So even if it was, rules is written, they didn't do anything wrong.
I would love to talk about this. This is so
Well,
good.
let's talk all about it then.
I'm fucking in on this. You're gonna have to catch me up on it. So
Would you believe there's an art?
a lot of people are confirming I'm in the Ninja recap video.
There you go.
I did not see it yet. Did he get me good? Did he get me from my good side? Do I look jacked? Do I look fat?
You look jacked, fat.
Or what do I look
You
like?
look skinny, skinny jacked.
Do I
Fat,
look
fat jacked.
skinny? Do I look jacked? Do I look kind of fat? Like,
I guess instead of talking about tournament stuff, we could talk about the AI thing.
yeah, let's come back to it. Yeah, because I mean, I actually thought, I was like, fuck, we forgot to talk about the Golden Demon.
All right.
AI art and 3D printed. Use a 3D scan and a print of an existing model. He used a 3D scan and a print of an existing model. Did he like that? Is it modified?
Who knows?
Kara Quinn, that's everything we talk about. Nobody cares about any of this. Kara Quinn, what do you care about? We'll talk about that. Give me 3 things you care about right now.
Are we not signed in on all the platforms?
Are we not? This is
Oh,
11. 11.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we are.
The Sam Hamwich says, I was worried my wife would see it and become immediately pregnant. So I look good? Tight. Thanks, man.
It's sploosh.
Cody says, I look way handsome. Appreciate it. Kara Quinn cares about food. Well, okay, Chicago food. I mean, we already talked about Chicago food. Okay, you want us to be a food podcast? Like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
I talk about Long John Silver's all the time, Kara Quinn. Like, literally all the time. Long John Silver's podcast?
I'm more of a
Pray.
Captain D's.
It's the Slayer sword winning entry. Is this what we're talking about?
So
Is that the one?
I mean, maybe. Is there proof?
Is it Alexander dos Santos?
Yeah, he basically did a Soul Blight vampire that.
Is on like a tree?
Yeah, the mirror reflection is his armor without flesh. So, I mean, maybe. I mean, the thing about 3D prints is you can zoom in on them and definitely tell. Like all of GW stuff, even that new Liberator they showed off, the first Age of Sigmar model. If you zoom in, you can tell it's a 3D print. Um,
Oh, he's like standing on a pond, but it's like in the open air.
yeah. So
Okay, that's sick as fuck.
yeah,
What's
I mean,
wrong with this? This is the sickest. This is literally the sickest thing I've ever seen.
so where did he confirm that at?
But what's the problem with it? Why is this controversial again? Because
I
it was
mean,
3D
it's not
printed.
against the rule. Again, it's not against the rules. Even AI art isn't against the rules.
What was the AR?
Neil Hollis's Exodite, the backdrop, supposedly not confirmed.
What's an Exodite?
It's the Eldar dudes that are like one with the Earth.
Oh yeah.
They like use dinosaurs and
I mean, that's like obviously like not a fuck. Wait, people were mad he didn't paint that.
well, people are mad that it's AI. But I'm like, okay,
Like a lot of people are mad.
well, first of all, he hasn't said either way.
Like, he didn't paint that shit. Like, who cares? Like, that's
He
obviously
won the Slayer sword like twice.
yeah. He didn't paint that piece of paper that the guy's standing in front of. Who cares? Like, it's obvious. He obviously didn't paint
The
it.
internet, Twitter's angry.
Like enough that this has been discussed.
It's a
Chronic hate.
scandal. It's so bad. I don't know.
Sam Hanwich, she posted a link to the video for me in students chat. Let's see. Timestamps. Oh shit.
Value
You
the
look
Golden
good.
Demon competition and are looking for ways to improve and create efficiencies
It's at
for the
126.
show. Scott the Miniature Maniac and I also recorded our annual and
Oh, it's good.
camera. Well, you see,
Oh,
I
somebody just
spend
bought
most
some dice.
of my
Thanks.
days
I look
down
amazing.
here in the basement,
Garrett
in the company
Russell.
of my dog
And John's
August,
amazing.
painting miniatures, recording footage, and talking to the camera. It's great to meet up
yeah,
with
those
fellow
guys are dope
painters.
artists.
It's
I
to
look- I look so
interact,
badass.
Recording my days down here.
Are
in
you
my
swole?
It's after I caught him looking at me with his lens.
Sneaky. Sneaky beaky. I lost chat. There we go. All right. Yeah. Oh, bro, Zenu says, what if it wasn't anything to do with
basement with the
AI? What if you
company
just
of
use
my
art
dog
from a book
Argus,
cover?
painting
People put
miniatures,
AI and
recording
rage bait to get
footage, and
manufactured
talking
anger.
to-
I was really surprised how angry people get about AI anything these days. And I'm like, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, I'm not trying to defend AI but I'm just trying to look at it objectionably. AI was the fastest adopted technology in all of human history. All of it. It don't get no higher than that. So we got to consider that. And yes, it will lead to some folks losing their jobs for sure. However, I feel like every new technology that comes out leads to folks losing their jobs. Like you can't just be like, oh, AI has caused all these things. I mean, it's one of the new technologies that has led to stuff, but like these jobs weren't future proof to begin with. You know, like these were things that as soon as some sort of automation came out, whether it was AI or some rudimentary automation, that job was gone. Like we use AI every day now, like at Spiky Bits. Like we don't produce content one for one with it, but it is a tool in the toolbox now. And it's only a matter of time before it's a bigger tool in the toolbox for a lot of things, from rule set writing to art, which you know, I think that's a hot button issue because folks, when they pay money, they want they want their they want to know that what they're paying money for is real, I guess. But also on the other hand, when folks pay money for art, they don't seem to always value it correctly. Like I was blown away at the amount of cheapness in folks that don't even want to pay to get their hair cut. Like, dude, it's the first thing people see when like it's literally your persona. And people are so cheap that they will pay the least amount of money they can and barely tip folks. And that's also a form of art.
Oh,
Like,
that's
and
funny.
you
That's
see it.
actually a good analogy. People are like constantly like like on the consumer side trying to swindle every possible purchase in their life, and then they're mad when you know entry level CPA jobs are done by AI now. It's like
I mean, and that's another good point. You know, like so we have a bookkeeper because can't do it all. And you know, I spoke with the guy that owns the bookkeeping company, and you know, in the Triangle area in North Carolina, you know, Raleigh, Durham, etc. There is, I don't know, I'm just paraphrasing now, 1,500 job openings for entry level like CPA basically, or entry level bookkeeping and stuff. There is coming graduating class isn't even a quarter of that, and that's assuming that they even like stay in that area up there in the Triangle. Like there is a shortage of people going into trades and actually, I mean, from whether it's you know hairstylists, um, you know, this the stuff that is artsy. There's just folks not doing it now, and it's a combination of they know there's no money in it, but also the automation, right? So like for I just feel like in my heart of hearts that like this whole thing, this uproar on the internet about AI is so hypocritical that like I just can't help but laugh at it.
there's hypocrisy in it I never considered. Like
I just don't get it. And especially when you see sites specifically writing to manifest that anger to get folks to click through and go to their sites. Because as you might well have expected, there's quite a bit of new sites with articles that might be primarily all AI now.
I'm into
So
it. I
yeah.
have like every AI tool. Oh, Rob, also you're a tool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what Elsie said.
I don't pay attention to him.
And then Kara Quinn agreed with him.
Is he black? Is he back? I thought I blocked him. Like
Oh,
LT.
oh, Elsie got blacked.
I'm just kidding. I didn't block him.
I'm like, when did he get blacked?
Nah, I just, he's been busy with stuff.
Cody is not hypocritical for kids to make $9 an hour. Things are fucked up.
Yeah. But I
Things are
don't know, man.
things are fucked up. Minimum wage in Florida is like $11 an hour. The use of AI is not against Golden Dean rules. Matt Aaron says AI just updated your resume, Doug Jimison.
Oh gosh.
Nice. I love it. I mean, I like it. I love it because as a graphic designer, I love that I can generate assets and then Photoshop them up.
Yeah, I think it's just another tool in the toolbox.
I like it. Let's talk about Golden Demon. Let's do the show.
Oh yeah, I guess it's about time, huh? Let me make sure I got enough news here. Let's put the dice back in there. So we got 6 sets of dice left.
Cody just donated money to us on Super Chat. Thanks, Cody.
Thank you, Cody. The robots, thank you too. All right, I think I got
Rottweiler, 1035 in Michigan. You what the fuck?
Oh yeah, there's some cool states with like pretty decent.
1035 is so bad.
I mean, it's better than I think it's like 750 here or 8.
What? Bro,
Yeah.
my dad talks about stuff because he doesn't think about things. But he, I mean, back in the day, he knows now. But like, I remember one time he was like complaining to my brother because my brother's trying to find an apartment down in Miami. He said, "What's going on?" Like, blah blah blah. And brother's like, tell him how much it costs. And my dad's like, "What?" And then my brother tried to explain to him how much the jobs are paying. And my dad he used to lean on that, like, that boomer mentality. Like, it's like, Dad, when you were 24, you went to Florida Frozen. It's a grocery store in Florida, and you were to stock. You made $9 an hour. So like 1983, you weren't making no $2 an hour. You weren't making no $3 an hour. You were making $9 an hour in Florida Frozen. And I was born, and they got a trailer. They bought a trailer, lived in a trailer park, had 2 cars, and a newborn baby on one salary and $9 an hour. And then fast forward, my brother is applying for jobs with this like cooking resume and it's like F&B director resume, and they're offering him $9 an hour. So it's like, yeah, man. He's like, okay, I see the problem now.
It did not scale.
Kara Quinn, he made $3 an hour when he went to the army. I should just work harder, pull myself up on my bootstraps. Own 15 properties. My life would be fine.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing anymore. All right, I'm ready, bro. Zenwu came in with the hot take. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's a quote.
That is a quote.
I can't remember where it's from though.
Oh yeah, Chipotle can't even stay open here half the time.
Well, COVID had a big deal. Like, basically, when they shut us down and it's like, figure it out, right?
Who?
Like, when they shut the country down and they were like, figure it out, you're fucked, right? People kind of figured it out. Some people got unemployment. Some people got some relief money. Some people got some SBA loans, right? We got some deferred payment action on their like utility bills. They got some furlough on their rent. They got a whole bunch of different like mechanisms to figure it out. So you see this like legion of people who like, okay, I guess I'll figure it out. And then when restaurants started hiring again and their old like McDonald's jobs started calling them back,
They're like, nah, I'm good.
they're like, yo, you want to come work at McDonald's? And they're like, nah, I figured it out. They're like, we'll pay you $11 an hour. No, I figured it out. We'll pay you 20. No, I'm still good. And then they're like, guys, there's a labor shortage. And it's like, no, the same amount of people. The motherfuckers figured it out.
Yep. And I think that's I think a lot of folks realize their worth. I mean, you're starting to see it with 3D printing now too.
Ah, that's right. That was Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
That was Stephen Colbert. I remember that episode. Like the summer camp episode.
Yep. There it is. All right. I think I'm ready. If you're ready. Are you ready?
Hold on. Kara Quinn, thank you for your service.
Yes. This is the Long War. I'm Rob Bear, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher.
Just one of us here today. Yo, dog, great to be here. My man Wyatt is literally packing right now in Texas. He's got the crew together and they're boosting out to California in the morning.
Oh wow!
He
Down
says,
to the
and I
wire.
quote, "I will never financially recover from not getting my deposit back."
That's always a kick in the pants. It's dude, like every time I moved out of a place, they would always nickel and dime me some shit. I remember one time I didn't get money because the oven wasn't clean. And I literally went into the office and I was like, joke's on you. I never even used the oven for all 2 years I lived there. I was like, how is it dirty? I never,
Yeah.
all I did was put some pans in there and I pulled the pans out when I moved out.
Yeah. That's why I always shit on the carpet before I leave. Because I know
Yeah.
I'm not getting a deposit back.
Well, if you shit on it, then that means you own it, right?
Yeah, technically. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think scientifically.
I'm pretty sure we can prove that somehow. I think.
So we had a pretty wild after hours. Talked about a lot of stuff, things. I think we centered on the reality that we forgot to talk about Golden Demons, which is a big annual event that takes place at Adepticon every year. It's like the big one.
Well, there's another one this year too. There's two this year.
Yeah, and they were gone forever. Then they came back, and there's always great juicy bits of controversy year by year. And like previous year, remember when it was like some dumpster fire paint jobs were winning best in slot and stuff? You remember like that Nurgle dreadnought, little like Leviathan?
Oh, I kind of liked it. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
but it
not.
beat that yellow Contemptor dreadnought.
Yeah, I mean, art's subjective though. Like,
Now
where do
it's not that subjective.
oh, okay,
Not that subjective. Rule one of art: contrast is not subjective. It's objective.
true.
And that motherfucking dreadnought sucked dick. So we got to talk.
That's a hot take.
We
but
got to
okay.
talk about it, and that was fun because, as we determined from the after hours, the internet is full of chronic haters right now. So there's lots of fun things to talk about, like the AOS stuff and everything that we learned about, or I learned about. Rob already knew about it. So we have some juicy Golden Demon hot takes because we were too busy patting ourselves on the back and getting high on our own supply post Long War doubles at Adepticon. We forgot about all this free controversy we get to comment on. So that'll be something we talk about here later in the show.
I'd like to just not talk about controversy once. Can
That's
you do
the
that?
best thing to talk about.
Define best.
I define best as what Kenny finds interesting.
Oh, well, it is interesting. I can't fault you there.
Specifically,
know.
what I find interesting.
Well, I mean, I've been writing a website for 15 years about what I find interesting. So I feel like if I judge you for that, I would be judging myself.
Mm. Mm, 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 mm. So, no Wyatt, so no would you rather, unless Rob has one.
Would you rather enter the Golden Demons with a 3D print? No, I'm just kidding. Or AI
No.
backdrop.
Would you rather enter Golden Demon and win with a 3D printed model that was AI generated in a scan of an existing model, or lose under those same criteria.
Hmm. Bold.
But be disqualified because of it, or win or win without anyone knowing you did it. I feel like you got away with something.
I think if he, I think if the guy said that, well, I'm sure we'll talk about it. But I
It's
think if he
meaningless.
said it was 3D printed,
It's
that's
not
hilarious.
It's nonsense.
I'm gonna have to do some digging. I'm gonna go mine that news, Salt.
Mm-hmm. Give me that. Give me that crack rock.
This can be the good stuff. We also have 6 sets of Longmore dice left from Adepticon. Just 6.
There was a hidden cache Rob discovered at the bottom of his luggage.
By luggage, he means my Lucky Charms that had settled all the way back from Adepticon.
Yep. So, if you're driving to work right now, and you followed my instructions last time, pulled over safely at the nearest Long John Silver's, got on the Long John Silver's Wi-Fi, checked the web store. We do now have them.
6 sets left.
Well, skipping the would you rather, moving straight to news.
Oh man, that's me. It's great to be here, everybody. So yeah, there was a little bit of controversy today on the news front, but let's talk about the new releases coming up on pre-order this weekend. So we've got the new Kill Team Nightmare box that has the Dark Eldar Mandrakes and also the Night Lords for Chaos Space Marines. So it's just the Night Lord upgrade sprue for the normal Legionnaire box, and then brand new Mandrakes, 2 squads of 10. And also a terrain piece that's retailing for $140. Warcry has a new starter coming out called Pyre and Flood. That is $130. And then the Wild Corpse Hunters and the Ogre Gorger Maw packs, separate releases, finally are coming out for $60. And then on the Blood Bowl side of things, the Gnomish team with the Goose and Wolverine or Badger miniatures in there will be out for $50. And then you got the Gnomish Tree Man. And then what was the other guy? There's Rodney Roachbait is also coming out. $42 and $36 respectively. Pitch, dice, team cards, all the accoutrement will all be on pre-order this weekend. Then on the new 4th edition Age of Sigmar side of things, GW announced today, as a matter of fact, that there would be some changes. Some things would be going to Legends. They announced all the specific miniatures, but for the most part, there's a vast majority of the original Stormcast from 2015 and up until like 2016-ish. A lot of Skaven, but we know there's new Skaven coming out to replace them, and they kind of alluded to that too. Remember, they did the same thing in 10th edition with Stormcast, or not Stormcast, Sternguard, the Terminators, and people were like, why are Terminators getting Legends? Oh, because we're getting new Primera size Terminators. Okay. So maybe there's some bigger size rats coming in the 4th edition box, etc. So there'll be some of that, but also strangely, various single miniatures like Valkia, which was kind of a bit of a surprise. The Goblin Spider Cave Rider thing, which was kind of a fan favorite, it was out of stock, but it was a cool mini. But maybe more importantly, they said that the complete range of Beastmen and the complete range of Savage Orcs would be going away. They will be still tournament legal until 2015, summer of 2015. So you still have a year to play with them in 4th edition Sigmar, which they didn't do the courtesy of with any of the stuff in 40K. So that's kind of,
it's kind of a long setup, man. That's
yeah.
Like, we've talked about this subject a lot since 8th edition of Warhammer 40K dropped, and they started legending stuff, and a lot of hot takes across the internet.
Oh yeah.
Go to the after hours to hear some of ours, but like at the end of the day, man, like GW doesn't want to make something anymore or support it. They don't have to. You know, and we're kind of beholden to them. And this is I think kind of an interesting, middle ground where they're saying, like, you have a fucking year. You have a year to come up with a solution to your Beastman / Savage Orcs conundrum. Seems reasonable.
It is worth mentioning that both are playable in Old World. So, and I've been talking to a particular game accessory manufacturer about potentially coming out with some adapters and things for so people can take their round squared minis and put them in the movement trays and such that are square. So if say you have an ogre army and you want to play it in Old World, that would make it a lot easier. And the same thing would be
At the very
way more.
least, you have a year to rebase an army.
Yeah. I feel like you do have to rebase if you're going from one actual like geometric shape to another. You probably do need to rebase them. It's kind of not like, oh, it's just increased 5 millimeters on each side. I'm not gonna worry about it.
No,
It's kind of
like I said, we went pretty deep on this subject, and after hours, you listen to the podcast. You've been listening to it for a while. You've probably heard all of our opinions about things getting legended and our opinions of people who suffer from chronic hate on the internet. All of that. Like we covered it all. So this time around, barring the after hours, straight up, those models are going away. They're going to become utterly unsupported in Age of Sigmar. You have 1 year to figure out what you're going to do with them.
Yep.
Like, that's the news. And, side commentary seems like enough time to figure something out.
Yeah, I think so.
And Rob has already given you a solution.
Well, that's definitely one of them. But, I think at the end of the day, as we saw with Old World, a lot of TOs were like, hey, you can still play with legacy factions. And I think we might see that with Sigmar. Hey, you can still play with the legacy factions.
It would be incredibly healthy for our hobby if that started happening.
Yes.
If, just again, we used the CCG analogy earlier, and you talk about how they go into other formats that are played. Well,
right.
We can talk all we want about how Legends doesn't mean you can't play it, but it kind of does. Because there's no organized play really happening that supports legacy stuff, legend stuff. But if we moved into a game state where there was, and they actually got draw, then I think that'd be healthy. More options equals better.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you, and I think that's the direction that things are going, especially in this day and age in this economy. You just can't. You can't have an army that's all ready to go and painted and just be like, oh well, I guess that's it. Like, no, absolutely nobody is doing that. So we'll see how it all sorts out, but I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about it in the near future. We saw with the new Kroot hunting pack and the Tau Codex in there. We saw it basically is going to be the new Tau Combat Patrol to replace the old Combat Patrol box. And this one, it looks pretty good. It's got a Enforcer Commander, 10 Breachers, 10 Pathfinders, and a Devilfish in it. It's probably a bit more well-rounded for Tau players than the current one that kind of has a special character you might not use, and like a $90 Ghost Keel suit that you might not use. It's probably not going to have as much value, but at the end of the day, it's probably better all the way around for folks. And then rumors wise, there's still some more stuff swirling out there about the Eldar Wave 2. Apparently by the end of 2015, all the Phoenix Lords and all of the Aspect Warriors are going to be done, minus the Dire Avengers. Apparently they're not redoing the Dire Avengers because they're so much newer. And that's pretty cool to see, because all of those models basically need to be redone at this point. Did I say 2015? I guess I lost a few years there. I meant 2025.
Easy mistake to make, Rob.
I agree. Time has no meaning anymore since 2020. I'm still getting over it not being 2019 anymore, personally. I feel like we just fast forwarded 5 years there. But here we are. Some other stuff that's worth mentioning on the sales side of things, Frontline Gaming has a secondhand store sale. So if you're looking to score some stuff, there's still some pretty good finds. I was going through it a little bit earlier over there. So if you're looking for any used Warhammer miniatures, you might want to hit them up. They're 20% off right now, I guess, for the next couple of days. We've got our dice up on the store. There's only 6 sets of the Long War dice up on there. I know we don't really talk about BattleTech that much on the show here, but BattleTech has been huge resurgence since 2020. I think I said that right. Um, so Catalyst Games had an awesome Kickstarter. I think they did like $8 million or something. And I mean, it's just huge. They had a huge presence at Adepticon. You probably saw all the video game pods, and they were live streaming like pretty much the whole time. Incredible, just really getting after it and, trying to get in there, and just really big resurgence with BattleTech. Just before the Easter holiday, and before everybody went out of the office, they put out the stuff to, do all your backing and everything on Kickstarter. There was a little snafu with the shipping. I guess one of the play mats was incorrectly dimensioned wrong in the backer kit, and it was throwing off all the shipping charges, and people were, it was basically saying that you had to pay like $200 shipping, $500 shipping, depending on how much stuff you bought. And obviously none of it was right. And we was out of the office for Easter. And I feel like, yeah, maybe they should have double checked it. As a retailer myself, shipping's an MFer, like straight up. Everybody is always changing everything all the time on the shipping side of things.
Yeah.
It's whether, volumetric shipping, all this stuff. Like it has to be double and triple and quadruple checked, like all the time. It's a nightmare to do shipping. And even they said, once they figured out there was an issue, and once they got back into the office after the holiday, of course, Twitter wouldn't give them no respite over the weekend, because blah, 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 they're trying to take our money and all this stuff. Like, dude, give people their weekend off. Like, you got the weekend off, give them their weekend off. Like, come on. Like, we're all humans here. just treat people how you don't want to be treated. They got back in the office. They realized there was an issue. The very next day, they got together. They figured out the issue. The very next day on Tuesday, they said, hey, we figured it out. We're going to fix it. It's going to take a little bit of time. Nobody paid this ridiculous shipping charge on here. So, kudos to them for getting in, figuring it out, saying, hey, we're sorry, our bad. We're going to fix it. Like, that's all anyone can ask for, really. So, good on Catalyst for making the Kickstarter shipping, and the backers all happy there. Also, another, kind of disappointment turned upside down. Fallout Factions, that new skirmish game for the Fallout universe from Modiphius, they announced that there's going to be a shipping delay. Basically because nobody wants to go through the Red Sea right now, which I can't blame them with all the stuff going on. And you don't know if you're going to get pirated or cruise missile at this point, right? So they got to go down around Africa, and they got to go up to get to the UK with their stuff, which is understandable. It's going to take a little bit more time. So they rolled out a free promo figure. Anybody that pre-orders the starter set game at this point will get the free promo figure regardless. So, kudos to them for coming out, showing the new miniature, saying everybody's going to get it. It's dope, right? Like, these are companies doing it right. They understand, they understand. And I understand how everybody's very fast to jump and be like, but these companies aren't, they want to be around. They're not just taking your money and splitting, Now there is some of that out there, sure. But, I just feel like if everybody just calm down a little bit, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing to happen to you today. And if it is, it's not that bad either. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Kudos to them for making it right. I think for the most part, that was all the stuff I wanted to talk about on the news front. Hopefully we'll get some new 40K releases here. Well, dedicated 40K. I mean, Kill Team is 40K, and I know a lot of Dark Eldar folks have been waiting for those mandrakes for a number of years. So that's gonna be cool to see.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a shorter show no matter how we slice it tonight, guys. Again, Wyatt's gonna be hitting the road tomorrow. We're going to a new podcast date.
Yes.
We're gonna be switching to Wednesdays, back to Wednesdays, our old time slot. Starting next week, the 10th. And then we're gonna be off again the 24th because me and Rob got shit going on. But
I will have stuff going on because you have stuff going on.
I don't like the way you're saying that. It makes me suspicious of you. But so I'll fill the air with a thought that that made my newsletter today, and I mentioned it briefly in the after hours, and that's the time of year to get the hobby grind going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just me sharing my opinion of things, how I do things, which I've done quite successfully for many years. But this time of year is my favorite time of year to sit down and generate momentum for my hobby projects. So kind of that spring, for me, historically, it's because it's after Adepticon, right? But it works. If you do this kind of travel, this is a good time anyway. But regardless, settling down right now into the spring momentum. Get your models, start setting up your project, figure out your 2,000 point army. That's what I always tell people to do. Don't just aimlessly paint. This is a game. Games workshop. Figure out what you want to do. Even if you haven't played yet, download the app, pen and paper, or napkin and pen if you're Rob, and
Post it.
Literally just do it. Set up the army, build them up, get everything set up, primed, build yourself a little planner, what your goals are. Give yourself a date. My date is October, right? I start here. I want to finish in October.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean about hobby momentum is that you want to get that feeling that ball rolling to where you can't stop, right? Like nothing's going to get in your way. And, I've been doing this for so long that, we've made observations on what we're doing different times of the year when we get shit done. Man, this is when you get shit done. It's not winter. We're all nerds. We don't go outside. So don't hit me with the, I'm all cooped up in winter, not going outside. That's when I'm going to do my hobby in this year. No, you're not. That's a myth. You're going to be doing Thanksgiving nonsense, Christmas nonsense. You're going to be doing holiday decorations. You're going to be cleaning. You're going to be going to this state to go to your wife's parents' house. Then you're going to be back over here going to your parents' house. You're going to have all these obligations and these expectations placed upon you by all these people who mean, a lot to you, like all these important people in your life, right? Like, so you're not going to find that relaxing moment to sit down in your Pete's lab and generate momentum. Now you are. In the summer, everyone says, "Oh, but I'm gonna be outside doing shit." No, you're not.
No,
you're fucking not. Stop lying. We're nerds.
It's hot.
We're nerds, dude. We're not gonna be out. We're not gonna be out kayaking and shit. Maybe again, if you are gonna be out kayaking and shit, I don't want to talk to you.
I'm jealous of you.
You need to be in your Beats lab painting your fucking models. When are you gonna paint your models? You got boxes of unpainted models. That's what you got. If you own a kayak, sell that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Kayaking's pretty low.
If you own a kayak and models, I know that your models are not painted. Tell me without telling me your models are painted. Show me you in a kayak in the summer.
Post it in the whip gallery.
Like now, start generating momentum because at the most, what are you gonna have? The kids are home from school. Maybe you have a family vacation that you planned out. So you have like this one thing, this one obligation, not non-stop nonsense shopping, this, that. Bro, sit down, buckle in, especially with all this information that's coming out. Like if you're an AOS player and you just found out that your shit got legends, right? And you're disappointed about that. Or you found out you can't play your Beastman, right? In a year. Generate momentum. Crack open those boxes. Design your project. This is the same information I give all my students through my curriculum, my 101 course. These are all the, you can get all the information you need. Go buy an airbrush. This is that fucking time right now. 2024. April, generate hobby momentum right now. And by October, maybe I'll see you at the GW Open in Tampa.
I feel like it's right now it's easier to get that momentum because you see all the dope picks or you went to Adepticon, right? Like you see,
Take that feeling.
yeah,
Exactly,
you're like
Rob.
all those dope painted armies, all the new stuff on display. Like I played the Halo miniatures game, Mantic had it there. I played that and I was like, yo, this is dope. This is easy. I like both of these things.
Hey,
Uh
hey, Rob,
I
we had
like
some people in
Halo.
chat who didn't even go to Adepticon, but all they've been doing is watching videos about Adepticon.
Yeah, that too. Like
And they're
it's
like, hype,
amazing.
the hype.
Yeah.
Take
Let
the
me tell you
hype
what.
and turn it and jam it into your energy converter. You know what I mean? Like you're like, you use that stored energy, that potential, man.
I convert all my potential energy into kinetic.
There's a poop joke there.
Or I'm a mutant X-Man, whatever. Who knows? Yeah, I was and the Adepticon actually came out and said they had 2,000 more people this year. They went from 6,000 last year to 8,000. Like that's huge increase. And it was definitely noticeable. Like that was the best one yet.
Yeah, we got somebody in chat right here. Negative CHA says, I have never wanted to pay more than getting back from Adepticon. It was our first time
Exactly.
there and it was amazing.
Yep.
Take that feeling, generate the
Mhm.
momentum, get it all set up. Project paralysis plagues our entire industry. Right? All of it, everyone has it, man. Like this, like a lot of the negativity you're seeing on Reddit and the chronic hate you're seeing about any subject related to rules changes, balance updates, legends, like this is all. This only affects you if you are currently painting and playing with painted armies that those things are messing with. But if you
Yeah.
are plagued by project paralysis, meaning, you know, you have been meaning to finish an army and it's been like months and you're looking over at all the box sets you've been buying and not opening. That's project paralysis, man. Take the first step this spring. Build an army list. That's just do that. Build an army list. Don't overthink it. Don't try to meta that shit out. Just build an army list that functions 2,000 points with the models you have. Then build those exact fucking models, no more. Don't say, well, I'm going to batch paint all of my guys. Fuck that. Fuck that. Just build exactly the models that you plugged into your shit. Prime them bitches up. Get yourself a spreadsheet. Figure out how you can meet your goals. Pick a date. Finish by that date.
I wanted to talk about something else too because it's pretty intriguing. Something I have a little bit of experience with.
Rob has
Uh,
a painting. If you're listening to this when you're right at work.
Yeah. So, Wicked Brick came out and announced that they're a licensee for Games Workshop, and they're making Warhammer display cases that you've probably seen on their site by now. We did a story on it.
Holy shit,
This
I want
is
that.
what I'm holding up here in front of the camera is roughly a I don't know, about 4 foot long piece of they call this a particular type of acrylic. I don't know what it is. It's got a printed background on it. This is actually a Wicked Brick is a they make display cases for Lego kits, and this is a Saturn V rocket display that I've never put together. I bought it on sale, and it took me about an hour to get all the protective coating and wrapping off of it, but it came flat packed from England, very good quality. They got all these little screws and everything, and it magnetizes down. It's a vertical display, so it goes something like this, and it's about as tall as from my
If you're listening, you don't know what the
torso
fuck
to.
he's holding. It's like a long, skinny, vertical landscape.
It
Kind of like
shows it shows a
clouds.
rocket
It's it's it's
blasting off,
it's a rocket blast off.
basically, and then you can see at the top the moon because it's for the Apollo missions. So at first, I think a lot of people, looked at the cases that are on display or for the Warhammer figures, and they looked at it looks like the case lifts off and it's magnetized. And you can get stuff to fit your whole army or just a squad or just a single miniature. And they range anywhere from what it looked like to with the printed background from $30 on up to 80. And I guess the large with the deep is $96. And and they do run sales, so keep that in mind. But I think if you're gonna spend the money on anything, this is definitely one of the ones to consider, like the actual display that stays stationary, at your house. You can't really hang it up. It's mounted on stuff, but if you want to hang something up and you want something lighted, there's other solutions for that
What
out
makes
there
it?
already. But it is an AI printed backdrop, I'm sure. Nah, I think
What's the manufacturer again?
Wicked Brick.
Wicked Brick. Again, to the people who can't see this.
Yeah. Uh very, very cool stuff, and definitely, I feel like definitely worth the money. But if you are on a budget or it's just out of your reach, just wait for some sales because they always be having some sales.
Oh, you got to spend money to save money,
It's
as
it's
Rob says.
it doesn't work any other way, I don't believe.
Nope, it's true. All right, so let's go hear from our sponsors, do a commercial break, and then we'll talk about Golden Demon controversy.
2014.
All right, we're back.
Are we?
Yes.
Are any of us really back? I've been saying it's 2015 since the whole podcast. Time has no meaning anymore.
Tell me about the Golden Demons.
Well, you see, they have this competition where some of the best painters in the world paint on miniatures and then enter them into this competition called Golden Demon. And somebody gets a really neat sword at the end. No, I'm just kidding. So I guess there's a couple of controversies. The big one is that Neil Hollis supposedly used AI printed artwork for his Eldar Exodite entry that won gold. And people seem to have a lot of thoughts on that. And then the other one is that the actual Slayer Sword winner, the Soulblight Vampire, supposedly had 3D scanned and 3D printed a miniature components in
Uh-oh.
it. But rules is written. There's nothing against either of those things in the actual rules for Golden Demon.
Okay, so we didn't talk about Golden Demon after we came back from Adepticon because all we cared about was Longward Doubles fucking kicked ass.
And getting our hobby energy going.
Get our fucking hobby momentum. Forgot about the Golden Demons, but apparently there's been all sorts of controversy. Enough controversy there. I was like, yeah, no, people are talking about this. So
Yeah.
we looked at these 2 entries a minute ago. We've got let me pull this up. Do you have a minute article or something?
Yes.
Can you send me the pictures or a link to the article? I guess will work.
Do you want both?
If you give me the pictures, if you could just Facebook me the pictures of the 2 entries in question.
Can do.
Renegade, how about the fact that GW is naming a Chaos Box after us? Well, like, in all fairness, like, they coined that phrase and we took it from them.
Nervous laughter.
In all fairness.
Yeah.
We named our podcast after them.
Yeah, it was kind of like a double entendre.
It's a special rule that Chaos Marines had, Veterans of the Long War, which was chaos and they should know no fear.
Yeah. All right, here's the article. So it's Neil Hollis, and then you can see the Slayer Sword winner in
All
there.
right, let me pop.
Actually,
this
it's
shit.
the first picture you come to is the Eldar Exodite, and then you got to scroll all the way down to get the Slayer Sword
All right, let
winner.
me slap this. This is the first picture I come to.
Yeah, the first entry. You can tell it's the one with the background or backdrop.
Yep, I got it. You said all the way at the bottom is.
Yeah, it's that Soulblight Vampire.
Oh my God!
with
Why are you putting these ads on this page? Don't you
'cause I
have?
got it.
Why isn't your website? Why doesn't your website know not to serve me ads?
You know what? I forgot to tell it this morning.
It's like I'm pressing the little Xbox, Rob, and it's not going away.
That's not true.
And your whole website's blurred out behind it. It's like a truck bed. Like it knows that I want a truck bed. Yes, I know I want a Tanya cover. I just hit refresh.
I always know what you want.
How did? Is it because I told you?
It's because you told your microphone.
Because I said it at some point to the internet.
Yeah, Google's always listening, bro.
So I'm looking
Slash
through
your
these paint
searches.
jobs. It's like you said it's the last one. Oh, there it is.
It's the one for the Slayer
Got it.
Sword of the Warhammer. And then we got all the pictures we took at Adepticon.
So I threw it up on the screen.
I mean,
So
there was a lot of stuff that didn't even get mentioned.
I've got this vampire nonsense on the screen. So we got who painted this vampire?
Alexander, this
Is it the Santos guy?
yeah,
Alexandre
DeSantis.
dos Santos. Okay, so what were you looking at if you're driving to work? Is this fucking vampire diorama where it's like an optical illusion where it's a tree? He's standing on a tree on like a little swampy island, but he completely inverted the tree optically, and so it's also the stand inverted, but it's made to look like it's clear water, perfectly reflective water, and the angles on the vegetation are like floating subtly on nothing. It's incredible, and the most incredible part about it is that the vampire, his reflection is him. No art, but the armor is being animated by nothing because vampires don't have reflections. It's preposterous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously one of the best models ever painted, or best diorama presentations of all time, without a doubt. And apparently, people are mad because the word on the street is they 3D printed this.
Yes, that is apparently what he said. Can't confirm.
And how many people who were also in the running for Golden Demon lodged this complaint against him?
I can't say for sure.
Any vocal Golden Demon contestants out there on the internet making waves on Reddit that you're aware of?
I don't know. I don't frequent Reddit because I try to
Because
stay
they also
away
banned
from
you because of the death threats, I think. So
one Reddit, one particular mod on one Reddit said I can't post there, but I don't post on Reddit anyway, so who cares? Oh no.
So apparently it's enough of a subject. I would be surprised. It's a bit, right? I'd be surprised if any of the other people in the Golden Demon running, front runners, lodged any kind of complaint about this. This is people.
I mean,
I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And one of them did, I'd like to have him on this fucking podcast and hear his point and hear why. If there is a person who was in the top 5
mm-hmm.
of this category, because he's only like 3rd, right?
What this?
Did he win?
This one, the Slayer Sword.
Oh, so this one is so I want to see the number 2, number 3 guy. I want to see if they're the ones who don't think this guy should have won. And if that is true, I would like them on this podcast to explain to me why. I'd like them to have a real ass conversation because you know what?
Would be interesting.
I'm going on a limb here and say the motherfuckers don't care because this guy DeSantos fucks. Dos Santos fucks, dude. This model is
I mean, dude, like this is a pretty good piece. Like just in general, the fact that I mean, you know as well as I know when you and I'm not saying this is airbrush, but when you airbrush something, making the same, you could have the same model, but getting the same look on two different models is near impossible. And this guy
I mean,
literally did it.
he used 3D printing and technology to his advantage so he can create the greatest optical illusion diorama fucking of all time. So apparently there's controversy about this. If you know if you're on Reddit and you've heard about some 3D printing controversy, Golden Demons, we're looking at the model right here in our video version, and it slaps beyond belief. Get over it. 3D printing is just it's just 3D. It's just a tool assisted kit bashing. Like that's it. It's like
I mean, rules is written. That and then the AI art is not. It's not against the Golden Demon rules.
yeah, like if it was against the rules, sure, but it's not. Now, that's so on the subject of 3D printing and painting competitions.
Right.
How ludicrous. Scale of 1 to 10, how ludicrous is it for someone to center on how the model got there versus how well it's painted in a painting competition? Scale 1 to 10, how ludicrous.
Well, I mean, I think it's a
10?
tad bit.
10?
Yeah,
10?
I would say a solid 9. I mean, because if you think about it, a lot of the folks that were entering the Crystal Brush and also the Golden Demon. Well, I guess primarily the Crystal Brush.
Crystal Brush, basically, it was about how custom was the mini.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very hard to make a custom mini from Games Workshop because they're always judging, like literally the everything, not just the composition of the piece, but also the components of the piece if they are within the IP. Because remember Victor Hardy, like his shit was painted dope. And it was all like custom sculpted with green stuff, but it had some religious overtones, and they were like, "No, sir." Like, so there's always stuff like that.
Yeah, there is. I mean, so now let's talk about this 3D backdrop or this backdrop entry.
The Exodite,
The Neo Hollis single miniature Exodite situation here. So
yeah,
apparently people are mad because this background, which is just a diorama aid.
diorama aids.
Yeah. And in the single mini competition, right? This is single miniature, right?
I think it was. Yeah, single miniature. He got gold with it.
So this is not even. It's not even like who's got the sickest diorama. It's literally like who painted the best. This man has a sick diorama of a Velociraptor Dino Rider Exodite.
Yeah.
Coming at you. He's coming at you. And he's just got a classy little insert that he took to Walgreens and had printed out.
Maybe. We don't know that.
Like, it looks that way to me. As a graphic designer, that's what it looks like to me. Like, it looks to me like it's a printout. I don't care. This is best single miniature. That's just the way he chose to present it. And now
he also added some actual like 3-dimensional bits and or sculpting to it.
He used it and then he made it like an old school light box. Like it's literally got 3D vines in the foreground, rocks blending into it as it fades away, and then it's eventually a 2D image using forced perspective and foreshortening to look like he's coming down this, like, I don't know, fucking valley in the middle of the jungle.
Dino path.
Who fucking cares? And then the means in which he generated this image is irrelevant, dog. It's just a fucking accent. Like, I could see somebody have an argument if this guy won best diorama. Right? Because I would assume that you would want the guy to put his hands on every part of the diorama. I can see you having a 5. ludicrous meter. But this is even
Mhm.
more irrelevant to me than the previous question. How ludicrous, Rob, is it for someone on a scale of 1 to 10 to center on how the backdrop of the single miniature winner's not even required background to exist? How ludicrous is it to center on that tool system? Scale 1 to 10.
I don't know. It's a solid 7 in my book.
So you think it's more reasonable to be outraged by the AI backdrop than the 3D printed sculpt?
I think no. I mean, 9 being higher. I could see where more
Yeah,
people would
like
be mad about that than this.
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like how ludicrous of a person do you have to be on a scale of 1 to 10 to focus your attention and ire to this background, like an 11, right? You have to be so preposterous
Yeah.
of a person.
I mean, again, are any of the competitors and or if it was that big of an issue, Games Workshop can be like, hey, give us the golden demon back. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's their event. Like, regardless of what the entry rules are, GW can just be like, yo, dog, nah, you're disqualified. And that's that.
So yeah, the discussion really is, you know, I mean, so obviously 3D printing is controversial in our hobby. I get why people might get
Sure.
mad about 3D printing because it is a hotbed of controversy and excitement in the chronic hate department. For sure. And in society, AI generation has become a controversial hotbed of chronic hate. No doubt. There is some legitimacy to both claims, some real world implications to both people, both sets of individuals. But I feel like a lot of that real world angst is being misplaced here on a miniature painting competition where both dudes did, in fact, paint the fucking models. No, Boston Tech didn't make a robot that paints the models yet.
Good luck.
So, juicy controversy. I'd like to know how people feel about that.
They got plenty to say.
You know, like, and ultimately, painting competitions. Honestly, Golden Demon is a better painting competition than Crystal Brush was. Crystal Brush, because of its Wild Wild West rules,
Yeah.
made it already. It's already subjective to judge painting for sure. We all know that. But if you want to even create the illusion of objectivity in a painting competition,
Mm-hmm.
there has to be some rules. And the rules, in my opinion, I go completely the opposite direction. I'd say I would tell everyone what the category entries were the year in advance. I wouldn't let you pick. I would say everyone has to paint like in this category, it's a vampire count. In this category, it's a Exodite. In this category, it's a spaceman. I would release that information and give people a year to prepare. So it would be everyone's stone cold interpretation of the exact same art piece.
Mm.
Right. So
That's interesting.
so obviously that's getting as objective as I can get, right? So GW isn't going to do that. They want to see a wide variety of interpretation.
Mhm.
But by them saying it's a GW model and them being the sponsor of the event, that gets us much closer to objectivity
Yeah.
for sure. And so how people are using these tools to bring that to life, I think is impressive.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you too. I guess we'll know if it's an issue when they put out the rules for next year's Golden Demon.
I could see them putting a rule on 3D printing because of or they have to change the wording of it being a Citadel model. Because you're
Yeah.
technically in rules violate if the wording on the document is it must be a model that we produce, like that, like along those lines, then you can't 3D print it. If it's a GW IP, it has to be a GW character, it has to be a GW something. If they leave you, and I think it's more like that because they leave you room to do green stuff in sculpting, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I actually don't know the
so
specifics.
you could, so if I 3D printed a vampire account and you told me I broke the rules, then the guy who green stuffed a cloak on his vampire account also broke the rules.
Yeah.
But clearly,
Okay.
GW is down for us to mess with the model as long as it represents the IP. Like, anyway, that's the the golden demon
So it
controversy.
says entries may only contain components manufactured by GW. Entries incorporating third-party products or components will not be considered.
So obviously, GW doesn't even enforce that. GW doesn't even enforce that. Components? What a broad word. That means if I use glue they didn't make. That means if I use grass they didn't make. So GW is gonna need to. So if GW might need to tighten up their wording because that's unenforceable and not enforced. I use cork they didn't make. I use rocks they don't sell. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah,
That's clearly bad wording.
it's a little.
I mean, I would say like pretty much everyone gets disqualified.
I'm just reading through this because it's kind of. It's all. I mean, even the rules are a little up for interpretation.
Class GW writes weird rules. Got it.
Uh, yeah, kind of. I mean, this one's weird too. It says only entries wholly painted by the entrant may be entered. Entries submitted on behalf of another person will not be accepted, and joint submissions are not allowed.
That's right. Every golden demon winner since the '90s DQ.
Yep. Everybody.
Yeah. So their rules. So
Yeah.
they're pretty. Their wording is obviously nonsense. And if this controversy is enough to be on GW's radar, expect a tightening of the wordplay.
I could see that.
Because like all you need to do is say components on the model itself, or like the arm, the base of any model must be a GW model. You're allowed to
Yep.
use third-party products to modify the model, of course, but we don't want to see plug and play miniature model company elements on our entries.
Which is understandable.
With
still.
the exception of the following, maybe. And then you'd come up with a 3D printing clause. 3D printing could be used in these 3 examples.
Yes. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
the spirit is that the model looks like the model they sell. That's the spirit of the rule. Not some one of a kind sculpt that only you own.
Yep. It's not Crystal Brush. Is
Not
there even?
Crystal
I don't even know if there's Crystal Brush anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right. Well, that was a good one. We covered some topics. Why it's still on the road. Long War dice cache discovered. Some dice still up on the web store.
Yes.
Moving to our new date. We're going to Wednesdays from here on out.
Wednesday.
That's right, baby. Anything else before we get out of here?
Duff's on.
Well, take us out. We'll do a raid.
Oh, that's it? Okay. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. Not the box set.
All right. As Rob mentioned, I'll raid off a next level painting. We're gonna raid impending duff. I'll raid off a next level painting. So did he get his internet sorted out?
Looks like it. I don't know.
He did.
Maybe we should ask him.
Yeah. We're going to raid.
They're talking about you in there, Kenny.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
All right. Raids have been deployed. Peace out, guys.
All right, I'm setting it up here. If you're in the long war, just stay put. Don't move. There we go.
I just asked him.